There's a little poem that I really love, and it's the kiss of grandfather son for pardon, and the song of the birds from earth. You're closer to Great Spirit's heart in a garden than any place else on earth. The major threat we have to the future existence of this planet is chemicalization and radiation. We lose a species into extinction every 10 minutes. We're on that list. Mm-hmm. And the diseases in their proportions outnumber any other era in the history, recorded history of this world. Mm-hmm. We have the highest disease level that there is, getting worse, and the highest death rate. It doesn't make any difference what we want to talk about, whether it's cancer, whether it's staph, Alzheimer's. We lead the world, and it's getting worse. It's hard to accept the fact that in North America, Canada and the United States have the highest infant death rate. And that's a little hard to accept. This society has again been programmed into believing that there's a magic bullet. Mm-hmm. The magic bullet that has been programmed into people's minds is the pharmaceutical industry, and it's the use of drugs. So what we've developed is a nation that believes that they've got to take pills to feel better, mm-hmm. which in essence, the pharmaceutical drugs have been their destruction, their downfall. If we deal with particle size, we've got problems. Is the body going to accept it? Is the cell going to accept it? So what we want is an intracellular formula that the cell will accept right away so that it can perform its metabolism. In order to metabolize anything, it's got to be inside the cell. 90% of our cells is water. 80% of our bodies is made up of water. We are water people living or trying to live on a water planet in a relationship of 80 to 20. Mm-hmm. And we can't exist without water, just like we can't exist without oxygen. And we're living in a planetary situation where hundreds of thousands of people are dying because of water. When we analyze water, it's shocking. Mm-hmm. We have mercury, lead, arsenic, and we have all the negative energies that man puts into water, mm-hmm. especially chlorine and fluoride, which I have, as an activist, spent many years and a lot of hardship trying to explain the dangers of chlorine and fluoride. What's a biophoton? Why don't we forget the word bio and take a look at photon? It's radiant energy. Where does radiant energy come from? As a scientist, like Einstein, I will tell you what it is. Radiant energy is God. Regardless of how you believe or what you believe in, radiant energy is the white light, which is what a photon is. So a white light is what? It's life. So if you said to me, can I put life in a glass? Yes, I can. Biophotons. When you deal with high-spin technology, zero-point energy or monoatomics, there's no size.
Okay.
You deal with frequency.
Right.
So there's no size. One of the problems we have to address, and then you mentioned it, Adam, which was really great, is the fact is toxic metals, mercury, lead, mm-hmm. fluoride, arsenic, cadmium, mm-hmm. right. bromide, barium, they're storing in our bodies, and of course they're destroying our brain, destroying our bodies. Okay, so we've got to set up a program. We've got to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. And so now there's no drugs to add to the list of increasing toxicity.
Right.
So now
we
we've got to
look at a drug because we don't have drugs now. That's right. Okay.
We've got to get rid of the mistakes we've made.
So we've got to figure out, or at least become aware of, a way to rid ourselves of the lead and the mercury and all those things without the use of drugs. Man, is that possible?
It is. And again, we look to the Creator and the greatness of what He did for us. When He created Mother Earth, she has every single thing we need to be healthy, to live long, beautiful lives if we turn to Mother Earth mm-hmm. with all its organic reconnective earth nutrition and medicine. Do they work? 40 years of my life. 40 years, that's a long time, maybe a little longer. Studies, Institute of Science, Moscow. Soviet Union, I was allowed in there. Hungary, Romania, Germany. I have studied all over the world. I've been at Los Alamos. I met Einstein. Several of the great plasma physicists, atomic physicists, have shared their secrets with me. Through all this knowledge, I was the first one in the world to develop a zeolite formula that would cross the blood-brain barrier and pull out the toxic metals, mercury, cadmium, lead, aluminum, arsenic, out of your brain without any damage. What is so important about that? The importance is you're not going to have a healthy body if you don't have a healthy brain. For the most part, when you look at your PDR, the basic testing has been on lab rats. And when it mentions people, maybe 100 people went into a trial test before the FDA approved it. And all we have to do is turn to the CDC, Center for Disease Control, and ask, what is the death rate from prescription drugs?
Yes.
It is the 4th leading cause of death in the United States and moving towards the 3rd leading cause. As the FDA continues to release prescription drugs that have not been thoroughly tested. What essentially they decided to do, instead of taking the risk of burying it in containers and then have it leak and contaminate, some young chemists got the idea of let's sell people on the idea that it's great for your teeth, and so they put it in a dentifrice, and fluoride toothpaste got launched. It's a place to utilize the toxic waste from the aluminum companies. This is exactly what they have done.